What's up, Facebook, man? What's up, Twitter, IG, all the social media networks out there. Also Google. Check me out on YouTube. I got a couple videos on there chopping up game. This is part of my goal of 2018 is to do No Cupcake Zone live, man. I'm saying every single day, just going live, and that's something that I put together, for 2008. And if you guys looking at this video, man, I know a lot of people. I see the numbers. The numbers. I mean, they ain't that crazy, but there's enough people in here to definitely hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. And you know what? This show right now, this is my therapy right here. This is my therapy. I'm talking to all my friends on Facebook and in the world, man. Sometimes you got to talk and give it out. And I'm gonna give some truth serum, some pills that are hard to swallow, man. Some pills that are hard to swallow for people. You know what? When you get to a certain place, man, and you put things in perspective and you tell the truth about certain things, you know what? It's going to be hard to swallow for a lot of people, man. It's going to be hard to swallow for a lot of people. The truth really, really hurts sometimes, man. It really, really hurts sometimes. And one of the things I was thinking about, man, and this is kind of a pill that I had to swallow. It's hating on people. Hating on people. One of the things about hate, jealousy and all that, it's an upward thing. That meaning the person that's doing it is always doing it upward, not downward. You know what? Because if you think about it, do you have any hate in your heart for somebody really beneath you? A lot of times you feel pity for them. So think about it this way. When someone is sending a lot of vitriol your way, it's usually up. Because we don't hate down. We hate up. Usually it's something, that you have that they are envious of or they're jealous of or something. Because that's the only reason. Because if it's like when you are hating, why would you hate down? Why would you hate on someone or hate someone that's beneath you? If there's not something like internally wrong with you or something that you're envious of that they have, and people put the overused term, when people have money and then, people always think that people are hating on them. That's not necessarily true because there's way more to life than money. There's way more to life than money, and monetary and material things is just one aspect of life. There's knowledge, there is health, there is beauty, there's all kinds of different things out there. You know what? Because how many ugly girls, how many pretty girls really hate on ugly girls? Not that many. Ugly girls love to hate on perceived pretty girl, but that's all up to interpretation. So how many, say, rich people really hate on poor people? Not that many, but the ones that they do, there's something inherently wrong with them. There's something inherently inside of them that makes them want to send that vitriol down to someone beneath them. If just think about it, man. It's like if you were on top of your game, why would you have to hate on people? And like when you're at the top, there's a lot of people sending vitriol to you because obviously they want your position. So you think about it that way. When someone says something really negative about you, or they say something that's obvious, envious or jealous or whatever, it should not matter to you. If you're really comfortable with yourself and everything like that, it shouldn't really matter to you. If you're comfortable with your skin, you're comfortable with everything, it should not really matter. When people are really grounded, hate and vitriol, it really doesn't matter to them. It really doesn't matter to them. You know, so people don't hate down. You know, people don't hate down. They only hate up. When someone is sending, things to you, you know, in a negative fashion or anything, that means that they, something that you got, something that you did, something that whatever is that they're envious or jealous of or whatever. You know, they're mad at your position, and you know, monetary things and material things don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the richest people in the world look like poor people. You know, they have what we call a poor lifestyle, and some of the richest people that you think are poor as hell, you know, they're really poor as hell. So it's a matter of perspective. So think about that. People don't hate down, they hate up. So if somebody's constantly at your thing, that means that they're looking up at you. You know, like the president of the United States, he's hating on people. You know what? There's something inherently inside of him that is wrong. And I'm just using him as an example. So this is a billionaire person, right? Billionaire. Why would he ever have to say anything about a poor person? Usually because there's something inherently wrong with him. That's what the reason is, you know. And the other thing is, man, is like, don't ever envy people's positions, no matter where you're at. Don't ever envy people's positions, because you don't know, you know, what is really wrong with, because, you know, especially when people are doing good, they're going to, you know, put their best foot forward. They're going to, you know, show you all that. They're going to, you know, because they have to compensate for a lot of the inequities. I mean, the fucked up things that are in their life. So, you know, if someone is always putting on a show, always showing how much that they have, showing how much that they have, you know, just putting on a show, you know what, that should click in your mind, man. There's something probably wrong with them inside. There's something, probably you're masking something. Whenever you want to hide something, you mask it into something like some type of positivity. Like, you know what people like. Let's just talk about what people with real money, right? People with real money are so low key. Let's look at Bill Gates and look at Warren Buffett. Those two guys are they're probably the richest people in the world. I think Jeff Bezos is the richest guy. I mean, tell me one thing that, I mean, in their I guess in their makeup, when you see them, that would make you think that they were an uber rich person, other than you know what their name is, their demeanor, the way that they dress, what they flash about. You would never ever know that. You would never know. Was it Warren Buffett was a rich person? I mean, was a really rich person. You know what? Because the way that he carries himself. Have you ever seen him say anything negative about anybody? Have you ever heard Bill Gates say anything negative about anybody? Have you ever seen them, wear like, here's my ring, here's my car, and all that stuff? Have you ever heard of that? No, you haven't. Because you know what? Because they're a different type of person. You know, there's a different type of person. Not saying a different type of person, but they have money now. So, a lot of the stuff that poor people do that they wouldn't do, because it's not because what's the reason to really, hate down on someone? What's the reason? There's really no reason. You know what I'm saying? There's really no reason to really, hate down. But anyways, man, let me go on, invite some people. I guess some people that went on the live. But anyways, man, mind your own business, man. Mind your own business. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people don't really understand, man, is minding your own business. Your business is your business, not anybody else's business. I'm not talking about, obviously business. Like, I'm talking about just minding your own business. Uh, because honestly, if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing in life, you're not really caring about other people's business other than like your immediate family, like what your wife is doing, what your girlfriend is doing, what your kids are doing. That's the only type of business that you should be really interested in. I know, like, a lot of people like entertainment, they like gossiping and stuff like that, but you should probably really mind your own business, because a lot of things that because whatever piece of news whatever news that you get, whatever gossip that you get, I mean, it's been trampled on 100 times. It could have been, this little speck. By the time it gets to your ears, it gets big. It's this bigger speck. So unless you're hearing business from, like, the source itself, and you have, physical proof or whatever proof, man, mind your own business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business, man. And it's you gotta also, man, you just gotta also take everything with a grain of salt, because a lot of people have a hidden agenda. I have an agenda. I have an agenda. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to front on that, but everybody always has a hidden agenda. So definitely take everything with a grain of salt, man. When somebody's telling you this about that person, you just take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of times it's probably a third of the truth. Sometimes it's an outright lie. Sometimes it's a little bit of the truth sprinkled in with a whole bunch of false facts or alternative facts. So that's a little bit of truth serum right there. Mind your own business, And one of the things, that's why I call this one some truth, some truth serum. Truth serum, man. Especially when you get to a certain age, man. And I've talked about this a bunch of times. I've talked about this a whole bunch of times. It's like people, and you know how they say the things is like, you keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And a lot of people don't really pay attention to that. And they thinking about, a lot of people internalize that. But that's a really true meaning. And you also have to think about it, man. We have family, we have friends, we have all kinds of, associates and stuff like that. But it doesn't make sense, like, especially with men, when a person is always trying to keep you close, always trying to keep you close, always trying to be around you, always doing this and always doing that. You know what? Because men naturally, we don't really want to be around other men unless that's to each his own. But most of the time, we don't want to be around other men. So if you have that homeboy that always is trying to hang out, always want to be at your house, always want to come through, always want to do that, then you got a problem, and you got a problem. And then I'm not saying that anything. You have best friends when you're growing up. We all have best friends. We all have, close people. But it's like one of the things that really remind me of this is the young rapper Kodak Black situation. Now you got all these people, talking real slimy about Kodak and all this stuff right there, man. And and the kid is locked up right now, and I feel sorry for him. Because he doesn't know any better. It's when you get to a certain status, and you have to keep it real. And what is keeping it real and this is what this is the truth, is like you have to leave some people behind. No matter what everybody says, you know what I'm saying? Keep it real with the hood or whatever. You can come back and give up some turkeys or whatever, man. But you got to leave some people behind. You got to leave some people behind. You got to evolve, especially if you want to be successful. I'm telling you, you have to. You got to leave some people behind. And that's talking about family and everything. You got to keep people at arm's length. Because what happened to Kodak Black? That's what happens. That's what happens, man. You got to leave some people behind. You got to separate yourself. You know what? I'm telling you, man, when you get to a certain age, when you get to a certain successful level, there's family, and family doesn't always mean blood. And then there's business associates. That's it. You know what I'm saying? All the other keeping it real and all that stuff, all those hanger-oners and stuff like that, you got to get rid of them people, man. You got to get rid of them people. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to change my homeboys or whatever. You know what? You know what? Sometimes your homeboys ain't your homeboys. You know, there's been people around that's hanging around you for years. They ain't your homeboys. You know why? Because they would be expecting you to do better. I'll give you an example with Kodak Black. Kodak Black has, achieved a bunch of success over the years, right? Over the years in Florida and whatever, right? And, you know, he has all these people around him talking about this homeboys and whatever, man. How the hell is your homeboy going to keep you doing degenerate shit? Especially when you know you have all this success that is in front of you and all this stuff that you can achieve, and they're bringing guns around, they're bringing weed around, they're bringing all this type of stuff around when they know you're on probation. Tell me, how is that your damn homeboys? How? I know it's a hard pill to swallow. You have to erase a lot of people, man, if you want to get to the journey. Now, if you want to be in the hood, hanging with all these people, you know what I'm saying, doing all this stuff, go ahead, man. But expect what comes with it. Expect what comes with it, you know? And that is what keeping it real. When you're keeping it real, you're going to get rid of a whole bunch of people. You're gonna get a whole bunch of people mad. If you got a whole bunch of people around you, you ain't keeping it real, man. Because the circle is very small, man. The more people you have in your circle, the more it's gonna breed envy and jealousy and stuff like that. If you keep it real for your hood, you go back and you give out turkeys or whatever. Don't be hanging around those people, man. I'm not saying those people in a disparaging way, but I'm just saying you might have that one person or that the two persons or whatever that, you know, that's really been with you in the paint, and you ain't gonna leave them. But when you have 10 people that you got their homeboys, then you got their homeboys, then you got their what's the name? Man, you know what? You're fooling yourself. You're not keeping it real. You're not keeping it real. You have to keep it real with yourself. And I'm going to keep saying that. Keep it real with yourself. And I'm just using that example as one thing. Because look at this guy, man. This guy is sitting in jail right now on a whole bunch of, 8 felony charges for, he was on probation. He had pending cases for, his homeboys all around with guns and all kinds of stuff. And then, you got a whole bunch of people talking about he don't win Hollywood or he ain't keeping it real or whatever. That's what happens when you keep it too real. That's fake real. That's fake real right there. That ain't real, man. It's like, you know how you can tell who is out there and your friends? Your friends would have been telling you, man. The real friends would have been telling you, hey, you know what? You need to get the hell up out of here. You need to get all these people from around you. You need to, go to college or something. And I'm just saying, you know, evolve. You know, you need to travel. You need to get up out of here. You need to get all these people away from you. That's what a real friend would have did. You know what? That's what a real friend would have did. But you know, people get so, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people are conditioned to just have a bunch of fuckery in their life. Oh my God, Frankie, what are you doing? You know, you gotta. That's some truth serum, man. Is not everybody around you ain't for you, man. And you gotta accept all your past mistakes, man. You gotta accept all those past mistakes. You gotta accept your losses, man. Because what they said is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing in expecting a different result. And you know, I see the pitfalls of this all the time, and this whole mentality, and people get caught up in it all the time, man. They get caught up in it all the time, and they expect a different result. It's like, you know, people get out of jail, they do a long bid, and you know, they're getting out of jail, and then you have these people, all of a sudden, you know, all your homeboys that used to be your homeboys that you didn't see, you know, during the whole bid, you didn't get no money for during the whole bid. You know, they might have said like free, you know, this person didn't get no letters from them, didn't get nothing. Your people out there starving, your people out there, you know, broke as hell. You know, your son, your daughter can't even eat, you know, but they, you know, free mind, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't getting nothing, you know, from them. And then all of a sudden you get out, you see flyers, you know, free, you know, this one getting out party or whatever. Now you know, you're back homeboys, you know, your homeboys are back. You know, you're you know, free this guy party, and you know, you're what, the same degenerate shit that got you probably locked up is that they're bringing you right back into you. The same degenerate shit that got you locked up, they want to celebrate that shit with you as soon as you get out of jail. And you think that is your friend? Come on, man. You know what? And you know what? You have people that do this over and over and over and over. They do 5, 6, you know, 10-year bids. They get out and they have a free my nigga my party, whatever. And then they go, you know, do the same degenerate shit. And you think that's your friend? That's not your friend, man. That's not your friend, man. That is your enemy, man. That is your enabler right there, man. That is the very reason that you probably messed up right there. Because there's a reason that why they switched when you were locked up, and now you're out. You know, they're turned back on again. Think about that shit, man. The person that's really there for you, man, is going to already have a plan on how to keep you out of trouble, how to get you into doing productive things, how to get you out of degeneracy. That is your true friend right there. And you guys got to keep your ears open to what people say and people want to do. You know what? That person that's always wanting to do some degenerate stuff all the time, and they know it's degenerate stuff all the time, that's not your friend, man. That ain't your friend. That ain't your homeboy. That's nothing, man. That ain't nothing. Because the people that are really out there for you, man, they're trying to put positivity in your life, man. They're trying to put positivity in your life. You know what? They're trying to put positivity in your life. You know what? That person that no matter how small that game is, man, they're always trying to teach you something. They're always, you know, trying to get you to come up on something, man. That is your friend right there. That is your friend. What's wrong, Frankie? You know what? But it's like, again, you set up yourself for failure, man. Especially when you sit around with a whole bunch of people that are nothing but failures, man. And this is the truth serum. The truth serum that I'm giving you right there. A hard pill to swallow. A hard pill to swallow. In the 48 Laws of Power, that's one book that I read, man. And I don't know the exact quote, but in order to, there's certain power principles if you want to be successful or you want to receive power, is you avoid the sick and the degenerate, however you want to phrase it, like the plague. You want to avoid them. And I'm not saying like your sick dad or your sick uncle, but I'm talking about the person with a sick mentality or a degenerate mentality. You want to avoid them like the plague. Because that stuff will seep into you, man. It will seep into you. It will get to you, man. You'll be like, oh no, that's just my homeboy. That's just my girl, or whatever. I'm just no. That just like if you're a person with if you're around a person with the flu, right? And they sneeze on you, guess what? There's a chance that you're going to get the flu. There's a chance that you're going to be sick just like that. That negative person that's in your life. I don't care if that's your daddy. I don't care if that's your mama. Avoid them people like the plague. Because if they're negative, chances are you're going to be negative. And that's the absolute truth right there. Like I said, family ain't always blood. And you got to look at things when you have your own family from a different perspective. Family ain't always blood. There's friends. There's friends, and everybody can be. To be a quality. People on Facebook that you ain't never met before can consider themselves your friend. You see how deep that is? They can consider you a person that never met you, never broke bread with you, never did anything for you, never had a real conversation with you, can consider yourself a friend. Just because, they sent you a couple comments and you guys talked on Facebook, you guys can consider yourself cool or you're a friend. Family that you've never met right there. They can consider you blood or family. That's why I'm saying, man, family is not necessarily blood. It's not necessarily blood at all. But you got business associates and then you got family and then business associates and then you got family. And you got to redefine what family is, man. You got to redefine what family is. I've been going in, man. I was man. The show was all there's a lot of hard pills to swallow. And I think what's successful, like people that are successful, have the ability to really, they're disciplined enough to really put things in perspective. They're really, I don't know who the hell that is. But they're really, disciplined enough to, to put things in perspective. I seen that Drew had joined the room, man. And since like talking to Drew, man, actually I'm gonna give him a call right now, man, because Drew keeps it 1,000 sometimes. All the time. Keep that up. I'm gonna holler at Drew real quick. I'm gonna holler at Drew real quick.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, I'm live on No Cupcake Zone live, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I like hollering at you, man. Hey, I just need you to drop a couple jewels on the people. I mean, if you have some time. I don't know how busy you are right now.
What we got? You already know I'm always busy. Always. What's that?
Man, you know what? And I want to, you know, and this is not a pre-scripted whatever. You had some trials and tribulations, in your life, right? Right. How many of those people, and I was speaking of, how many of those people when you were, shut down, pretty much erased themselves, and then when you were, back on your feet, brought themselves back to the limelight?
Well, that's one of the things I really don't like to speak on, because, you know what I'm saying, when they try to bring themselves back into the limelight, I stepped away from it and cut them off, because, I already knew what time it was. So it's one of those situations where you understand, you grow as a human being, individual, and know, listen, the right people in your life will stay in your life, ups, downs, you know what I'm saying, left, right, it don't matter what you're going through in life. But, when it's hard and rough, you know what I'm saying, the people that tuck, tail, and run, they need to be in your circle from Jump Street.
Right.
So I grew up pretty quick.
Yeah. No. And then I always say this on my podcast, man. I mean, as a man, do you really, I mean, at an age that you are right now, do you really like being around other men? Do you question other men trying to be around you all the damn time?
No, I'm grown, man. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? It's certain situations, if we handling business and we doing business, then, that's the difference. But
right.
They on negative stuff and, just want to kick it and just want to hang around for nonsense, then, we change up the whole game. You gotta understand, I'm focused on my goals right now, and if they deter my goals, I can't be around them. I don't care if it's a man or a female.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I just wanted to validate that. That wasn't a pre-scripted thing, because I hate. I always see these people all around saying, like, they're always hanging with their homeboys and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I know these people got families and stuff. I'm like, how the hell you have time to be hanging around a whole bunch of dudes all the time?
I have no clue, bro, but that's people that's going nowhere in life fast.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless dudes that, pushing them to the right path.
Right. No, and you can be honest about this, man. And this is, I call this some truth serum. And, this is a hard pill to swallow. When you do become successful, don't you believe, I mean, you can be totally honest that you got to leave some people behind?
You got to. Because everybody ain't on the same wave, and they'll drag you down, and then, you done went the positive way, they still on the negative stuff. You can't take everybody with you to the top.
Damn, man. Hey, you know what? Andrew just kept it real, man. That's what I was saying, man. It's like, I used to question that, got validation right there. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, man. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, man. But anyways, man, hey, thank you for dropping a couple jewels on us, man. Big Dream Sports. We about to, we probably got to wait a year or so to, get back on, but we're gonna make it happen, right?
No, we got some stuff in progress. It's just right now we had to shut down the regroup because we're all over the place. Got a couple other things going on, so right now, it's just really just taking our time, coming back strong and doing it right, bro.
All right, man. All right, man. You be easy, bro.
You too, man.
All right, man. There's Andrew. Andrew, man. We holler at. We got Ro Fat up in this room, man. We got Ro Fat up in the room. Hey, man, holler at your boy, man. Ro Fat. You got to give me some knowledge on Selassie and all those type of people, whatever. But anyways, I just called Andrew, and I knew I wasn't the only one that felt that way, man. you gotta separate yourselves, man. You gotta separate yourselves. I know it's a hard pill to swallow for some people, man. You know, you got all these people that, you know, that, but you can't take everybody with you, man. You can't take everybody with you, and everybody is not that's around you ain't there for you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't there for you. I mean, I'm not saying that you totally, you know, get rid of all your friends or whatever. You know what? But if it's a situation where you have people that's always coming around you and want to do to get you to do degenerate shit, you know, if you have a vice, right? I'll give you an example. If you have a vice and you know it's a vice and you know it's a bad thing, like I'll just say drinking. You know, I like to drink, whatever. I like to drink, but I know in the back of my mind, drinking is not something I want to do every day. I want to keep it to a minimum. And I feel that, you know, drinking in excess, drinking every day is a bad thing, right? But you have that one homeboy that wants to bring a bottle of liquor every single day. And he knows that it's not good for you. It's not good for him. That ain't your friend, man. That's not your friend. That is not your friend right there. That's not your friend. That's not your friend. I'm just keep it that simple. That's not your friend. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you have a friend, you know, if you're a person that wants to lose weight, right? Positive, right? And you want to lose weight, and every day they come over to like, let's go to the gym, man. I want to, you know, get you to go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Let's go work out. Let's go do this and let's go do that. And let's go, you know, get this weight off of you. That's your friend right there. That is your friend. That is your friend right there. Every day that they're hounding you, they're calling you at 5, whatever. That is your friend right there. But the person that's always around you trying to get you to do degenerate shit, that's not your friend, man. That is not your friend. You know what? That's not your friend. They might disguise it. You know, say your homeboys take a whole bunch of pictures. You know, you're out like this. Oh yeah, you know, like that. No, that is not your friend. That is not your friend. That friend that knows you're broke, you're struggling, and you're struggling and you ain't got no thing, and they're always trying to get you to go do this, go do that. That's not your friend right there, bro. That is not your friend. They know what your situation is. That's not your friend. What your friend is be like, hey, man, how are we going to get you out of this situation, man? Your friend is not necessarily going to give you these dollars or whatever. That doesn't mean anything. But your friend is a person that'd be like, man, I know you're struggling, whatever, man. How can we change your situation, man? You know what? Here's a couple ideas of what you can do to get up out of your situation. Let me help you. Not just in a monetary, like, you know, throw some money in it. Because, you know, the thing is, your friend is going to teach you. Your friend is going to lead you. Your friend is going to put you in a better situation to where you can learn, where you can feed yourself, where you can be sustainable. You know what? Because what real friends will do, that's what they'll do. A lot of fake friends will be able, what a fake friend will do, they'll give it to you, and then they'll brag about giving it to you, or they'll hold it over your head. They'll talk about it. You know, the moment you fall out, they're chirping about how much you owe them, or if you owe them, or what they did for you. That's what the fake friend does. That's what the fake friend does. You know, when he's pillow talking, he's talking about, you know, what type, you this and you that. And you find out that's a fake friend. That's not a real friend, man. That's why I don't, that's why I keep my circle very, very, very slow. I other than, a couple, partners that I have, that I consider family. I don't really have that many people I mess with. don't really have that many people I mess with because, you know what? Because there's a lot of flawness. There's a lot of fakery out there. There's a lot of envy. There's a lot of just bad things in general, man. And you gotta screw keeping it real. Keep it real with yourself. Keep it real with your feelings, because you all. I mean, like some people. I mean, a lot of people like to plead ignorance. Oh, I didn't know this person was was flawed, or I didn't know this person was this, or I didn't know this person was that. Keep it real with yourself, because your so-called friends, you know who the flawed ones are, because they've showed you who they were many, 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 many times. They've showed you who they were many, many, many times. So it shouldn't be a surprise. So that's why you have to keep it real with yourself. You know, it's not. I'll give you an example. If you're going to start a business, right, and you're going to be in the business, and you got that one homeboy that you know is just not trustworthy, don't put him in position to mess with you, man, because you already know that. And if you do, the person that you have to point the finger at is your ass, because you knew better. You knew better. It's not about keeping it real. Keep it real with yourself. You know, that's the thing. The first time you have one of these people, blurt out, keeping it like, you need to keep it real, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Go tell them to kill themselves. Just kill themselves. Because you know. Everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? If everybody know, then you should know. And they know. Sometimes you gotta hurt people's feelings, man. You just gotta hurt people's feelings. If you gotta be the switch out, be the switch out, man. Anyways, man, it looks like, man, you guys hit the damn like button, man. I hate when people do that, man. Y'all come through, join it, and then I guess on Facebook now you can join it. And then you can get off of it, and then you can still watch it. And then the person that's talking doesn't know that you're on it. So I guess you don't have to claim that you were watching what they were saying. And that's some phony ass shit, man. You know what? Give props where props is due, man. Give props where props is due. You know what? Shout out to Pat, man. Shout out to Pat, man, for sending me that like, man. You know what? and I don't understand. Just people in general now, man. You have this social media, man. Shout out to Bro Fat, man. Appreciate that, man. I was watching something on I was watching the Drink Champs, right? And they had Fabulous, and they had what do you call it? What's his guy's name? Fabulous and Jadakiss on there, right? And then they had Diddy come through. And there's always been rumors of Diddy being this, I guess. Whatever, they put the, Illuminati, he's fruity and all this stuff, right? And whatever, man, whatever. I mean, I'm not in this man's business. I stay out of his business or whatever. But if you know Diddy, Diddy's a very eccentric person, right? He's highly successful. In terms of money, he should be worth billions of dollars. You're right. Fuck friends, man. We can only shout out to Donald, man. Pyro. Hey, but anyways, Diddy is a very eccentric person, right? And you know, he's always branding himself. You know, he has a Revolt TV. That's what the Jadakiss was on. Jadakiss was on Revolt TV, and Fabulous was on Revolt TV, right? So you know, Diddy's like a very eccentric person. You know what I'm saying? He's a person. He was a money. He's like going to Fabulous, you know, because you know how like in New Yorkers talk. It's like, yeah, daddy. You know, they talk. They're a little bit different. And plus, when you're a person in Diddy's position, and if anybody has been around anybody with some real paper that got money, that really got money, got like FU money, they are in a different world. They're complementary. They're complementary of everything. So they're, you know, everything of his life is extravagant, fabulous. He's around, you know, the baddest women. He's around mansions. He's around all that stuff. So they talk in a way that could be, I guess, construed a little fruity, right? Because they got money. You know, they got money. So he's going to Fabulous. Hey, Fabulous, I'm going to take you shopping, man. When we going to hang out? Like on some real rich nigga stuff, like real extravagant. And they're trying to make it about, you know, him being whatever. I mean, if he's gay, whatever. You know, that's his business. That is his business, whatever. But what was kind of disheartening is like, we live in a culture where you can't give people props. You really can't be nice to people. You can't congratulate people. You can't do that stuff without being a dick rider, without being, you know, a fan or any of those type of things. You can't say, dang, Pyro, that track was awesome. You can't say it public. You got to sit there and pretend, and pretend like you don't listen to people's shit when you listen to people's shit, and then you give them props, and all of the next person is looking at you like a dick rider or whatever. It's like, why? I mean, have we really got to that damn place to where you can't, even on social media, you can't even bring yourself to give another person props, you know, for saying some real shit? Or liking, it's like liking their, like getting caught liking their music, liking their, you know, their podcast, getting caught liking, you know, what they do, giving them props. Dang, man. Hey, you're right. He could be. That's the thing. That's what I said in this show, man. I mind my own business. And plus, you got to understand, even if he was, Diddy is successful. Diddy has a formula that where he sells fragrances. He's in the fashion. He's in the drinks. He has all these different relationships that he has to manage. So he has to be a whole bunch of different things. He doesn't get to being almost a billionaire by a black man. I mean, being a black man trying to appease the black community. That's what I'm saying is if I go out and say, "Roll fat, man, dog, you look sharp, man." You know what I'm saying? You got your shit together. There's gonna be a nigga looking at me like I'm a dick rider. Or I'm gay or something like that because I'm commenting on how a person, is doing good. That's what the overarching thing is. It's like we can't be complimentary as men, you know, within our community without it being something else. Yeah. Yes, it said stay in your lane. You know, we can't be complimentary about each other without it being something else, man. It's like these rich guys, you know, those really rich people, they are in a positive realm. They're in a positive realm, and they really, when you have that much money, you really don't have that many restrictions. It's like here, like, you know, broke people, whatever, we live in a very restrictive realm. We live very restricted. We can't say anything, huh? Yeah, he's a modern day Quincy Jones, absolutely. But I'm just saying, Quincy Jones. There's always Russell Simmons. Every single black guy that's in that realm, Jay-Z, all those guys, they're gonna say, you know, something disparaging about him on that. And how, like in our culture, how do you really disparage and bring someone down? You call them gay. That is the easiest way to bring somebody's world down. And that's what one of the part of the show is like. People don't hate down; they hate up. Like you have 50 Cent going in on P. Diddy, going in on P. Diddy, and P. Diddy doesn't really have anything greasy to say about 50 Cent. But if you look at 50 Cent's whole makeup, his whole makeup is centered around Diddy, his money. They say everything I've done or doing is because of Edrin. Has Edrin said that? That's what has he said that? Of course, there's a reason that, I mean, if you were, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, man. You know what? Because a person is in, I mean, I guess in your position right now, because you can be around someone that, you know, that's been highly successful. That is going to breed some crabs. That's going to breed some crabs. Some crabs are going to be looking at you and be like, man, how can I trick this guy off his position? how you can trick this guy off his position? You know, real fat, Edrin recognizes something in you. Like I said, family ain't always blood. That is irreplaceable. You know, not only, I mean, are you his, you know, brother-in-law, but there's got to be something about you that he keeps you close to him and his inner circle that he respects. Because I'm sure, I mean, look at his whole family. His whole family is great. I bet you there's a bunch of people that he wouldn't trust with a soda. I bet you he wouldn't trust a whole bunch of people with a soda, but he entrusts you with that. So that says a lot. And of course, I mean, what do you expect, Rofat? What do you expect? What do you expect? You shouldn't even expect anything different. You shouldn't even expect anything different. That somebody is going to accuse you of I'm not accuse you, but saying that you're in position. Like, so everything that you've done is based off of him. Everything. So all the mistakes that you made in your life, we should attribute to him. Who's gonna accept? I mean, nobody gonna say that. So all the positive. So it's not everything. It's just the positive, not the negative. Not the. That's the world that people are in right now. I don't even know who's calling, but I'm not even gonna answer. I'm not even gonna answer, man. But I've been on here, man. That's my whole goal of this year, man, is to get on. To do the live no cupcake zone, man, and make sure you guys hit the like button, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button. You know, we got Mike Boudreau up in here, man. I didn't even see that. Mike Boudreau, man. Shout out to him, man. Mike Boudreau, you know, fixing cars out there. You know, still doing your damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Even. Bro, I was like what like seriously, man, what do you expect? And that was the whole thing that I got on the show about today, was people hate up. They don't hate down. People hate up, they don't hate down. I'm just saying, That's what I mean. I've been around, I've never heard him really say anything negative about this person or that person, because that's the difference in the people that are are progressing. It's like the negativity is just not there. The negativity is just not there. People hate down. People hate. I'm sorry. People hate up. People don't hate down. It's like if you're around people that are successful, and success can come in many different forms. Success can come in many different forms, but if one constant thing that you hear that you're around when you're around people that are successful, they ain't really got nothing negative to say about anybody. They really don't got anything negative to say about anybody. Unless, it's some type of jealousy or some type of envy or whatever. Like, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. Whenever you have some dude, that's perceived successful, that has a lot of money, right? Has a lot of money, success, material things or whatever, right? Like Drake. Drake is a perfect example, right? Him and Joe Buttons are beefing or got into a beef. And you're thinking to myself, why would Drake waste his time on Joe Buttons? Because they're not, on the same, especially when it comes to relevancy in a rap or in rap, they're not even on the same level. Drake is way past that, right? He's way past that. Or Drake, let's just use Drake. Or why would he go crazy on Meek Mills? Like, try to, like I said, Meek Mills and Drake had two things that Drake couldn't get. Joe Budden had Tahiri, still had Tahiri hard or whatever. I think after Drake gonna hit it, and Meek Mill had Nicki Minaj. So, like I said, when someone has a lot of vitriol and a lot of negative things to say to you, it's usually you have something that they want or they can't have. Because, like I said, people don't hate down. They hate up. Just because you have, more resources or more money than people doesn't mean that people are not jealous of you. They're not envious of you, or you don't have something that they don't want. So don't get that twisted. Because a lot of people say, like, man, no. There's a reason why that person that's supposed to be up here responds to the person down there. Is because they have something that they want. Motherfuckers forget Todd is my brother. So if me and Todd are close, don't. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta also see who is doing the hating. Who is doing the hating? There's always some type of hidden agenda there. There's always some type of, envy. What's the name on hit a lot of broads? Somewhere down the line, he might have hit yours. So, you know what? What's the way I can do? You make up some shit, you know what I'm saying, and say, that's just what the case is. Is just like that the Drake situation that I was talking about. Like why would somebody like Drake go after like somebody like Meek Mills or Joe Buttons? It's because of that. It's because of that that envy, that jealousy. It's always like something that they have something that other person wants. You know what I'm saying? Like the crab wants to get to the top. So what he does, he pulls on the other crab so he can get to the top. You know what? The crab, do you ever see any crabs going down? Like trying to get down? No, they're trying to get up out of there. They're trying to get up out of the bucket. That's the whole concept. So whenever somebody say something vitriolic about you, analyze it. Because a lot of times it's not something that you even should even get mad about. It's something that you should be laughing about. Oh, he's mad about that, or she's mad about that. That's the mentality, man. It's the positivity, and a positive person too, man. When you be around positive people, man, very few times that you, and that's how you know that you're around positive people and a positive and good-hearted people. It's very few times you'll be in even discussions or conversations and just mean-hearted type of things. Mean-hearted type of things. That's just what it is. It's like, but when if you're ever around people that are sitting around talking about a person in a negative light, and they're being mean-spirited and very vitriolic about that, yeah, clear example. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. Donald Trump is a great thing. I mean, he's a great example. He's a great example. You never hate down. You never hate down. Like, all of a sudden, he comes out of this guy's the president of the United States, right? And he is clearly, one of the, he's like the leader of the free world. But yet, he takes time out of his day to go after, the NFL owners, right? This guy is supposed to be, the president of the United States. Like I said, you never hate down. You hate up. Because if this guy is clearly above them and above the football players and everything, then he wouldn't have anything to say about the football players that are supposed to be down here, the president of the United States. No, it wouldn't have anything to say about it. He wouldn't have anything to say about them. But because they're in the NFL, which something that he tried to go into, and he couldn't play in the NFL. He couldn't own a team. He could never get the respect of the NFL owners or the NFL players. Guess what he does? He starts hating. He starts hating. It's not because the NFL, I mean, he has more money than the NFL owners or NFL players. It's because they have something that he can't never be a part of. He can't never be a part of that. He can't never be a part of that. That's why he goes crazy on Hollywood people and stuff like that, because he was part of that. He was trying to be part of that circle, the New York elite, the Hollywood elite, and stuff like that, and they rejected his ass. Why do you think that he has so much hate against Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama? You know why? They were accepted in those elitist classes that he'll never be accepted in. That those people in those elite class won't be caught dead in a photo with him. And you don't think that right there kills him? You don't think when his hometown in New York, his home city in New York, where you have like those expensive restaurants and stuff like that, do you think anybody will ever get caught dead that's in the Hollywood or New York elite with Donald Trump? No, they wouldn't. They would not. You only hate up, not down. You only hate up, not down. All right, I gotta give you some time. So I'm gonna end this on that. But that's some truth serum, man. You guys make sure you guys check out my podcast, man. Yeah. But I'm gonna leave it with saying this, man, is you got to come to a part of your life, man, where you have to start eliminating people. There's a lot of people be like, hey, you know what? I got to go on Facebook and I got to eliminate all these people. You got to start eliminating people in life. You got to really sit down and start thinking about the people that you have to get rid of. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with your goals in life. And you got to be honest. You got to be honest of who affecting those goals in life. You know? I'll give you an example. If you want to lose weight, that person that's always want to go to Golden Corral or, you know, want to go eat some nasty shit or whatever, you got to get rid of that person. Is it, I want to stop drinking, but that person is always going to be like, hey, I want to churn up all that. You better get rid of that person. It's like, I want to stop smoking. And then there's a person that's always being around, you know, I want to go do it. You better get rid of that person. You got to do that. But you got to be real with yourself, bro. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be real what you stand for and what's important to you. Because until you do that, you're going to keep making excuses. You're going to keep, you know, following down that degenerate path. And a lot of times it's not because of you. It's because of outside forces, man. It's outside things. And you know, I want to speak to the men on this, man. Listen, a lot of the degenerate things that you do doesn't have anything to do with you, really. Doesn't have anything to do with you as a person. It's just you trying to appease a person. Trying to appease a person. Like that homeboy that comes in like, oh man, let's go do this and let's go do that. You know what? He's like, oh, I better do it because, you know, this person don't think I'm a bitch or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I gotta stop cursing around him, man. You gonna start cursing. But you know, as a man, you shouldn't really, I mean, and plus you got kids and stuff like that, man. You shouldn't be around a whole bunch of dudes all the damn time. You don't got time. I mean, there's not enough time in the day. There's really not enough time in the day. Like seriously, you don't really. I mean, I just see like once in a blue moon that you guys get together and you go do some stuff. You know, go out to, you'll have some drinks or something like that. Bring your family or whatever, and that's acceptable. But, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. Hello? What happened?